Hello beautiful people, it's Sinderfam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're gonna be checking this video, which is from the Whatever podcast. So we're gonna be checking this really interesting video together. Let's check it out.
Do you think men should pay for first dates?
Not always.
Okay,
Like pay for the meal or something like that.
sure.
Yeah, if I guess so.
Yeah?
Yes.
Into the mic if you can.
Oh, yes.
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 Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You said yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm a little confused here because wouldn't that be a man falling into his traditional gender roles?
Yes, I love traditional gender roles.
But are you deserving of traditional treatment from men?
I believe so.
I think so, yeah.
Are you deserving? I know you're in a relationship with a woman, but are you deserving of
That's what she
traditional
said,
treatment
Neil.
from men?
Yeah.
Wait,
Into the mic.
would it be the same thing? Like, would you let a girl pay for your first meal?
Hold on. Let's
First
not
date.
derail. Answer the
Okay.
question.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Are you deserving?
Are you deserving of traditional treatment?
Yeah, of course.
I think so.
Yes.
Hold on. All four of you have been engaged in basically sex work. You've all admitted to having sugar daddies. Is that even approaching being a traditional woman, having sugar daddies?
Well, if we're talking about like 50-50, like I like would say that like when you're first trying to establish a relationship, like if you can prove that like traditional will be like gender roles, I think that's where you're going.
Yeah.
You have to, for women, like womanly duties, man willing duties, provide, but also be protective, whatever. The first dates, like, yeah, pay for the meal, but like when you're in a relationship and establish that a man might not always have that or be able to provide all that. So you have to be able to match each other's energy. Like, oh, I'll pay for this if, you know, like, because that's what we're in a relationship. But you do obviously want to like look good in front of the woman. Like, I mean, would you go on a date and not pay for the meal, or would you let the girl pay for the meal?
Well,
Brian?
that's a different
What he's
conversation.
asking is if you deserve it because you participated in work. Do you deserve a man, a traditional man,
You used
because
to be
you've done
you used to be a
untraditional?
sugar, you've done sugaring or whatever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You still deserve it. Okay. All right. Now, you were talking about, well, once you get into a relationship, then things can become a bit more 50-50. You said your longest relationship was 2 years. Was it a 50-50 relationship?
Well, we were in junior college. Yeah, I would say it was 50-50. Like,
But at the beginning, he would pay for dates?
yeah.
Okay.
Like when we would go on our dates, when we went to movies, he'd pay for the dates. When I traveled to Chicago where he was from, like I'd pay for other things. Like
Would you pay for the flight?
yeah, I paid for the flight.
Okay.
You want to know what's most interesting is the fact that lots of these women don't even believe themselves when they say, or don't even believe in what they say. Yeah, talk about lots of these women say they expect men to pay, then when they're in a relationship they can go 50-50. Is that true? Does it work like that? And the fact that lots of the women are also entitled, because obviously they what they're paying, or the fact that they show up for the day, so the man is obligated to foot the bill, pay the bill on the first date and all of that, because of course they are the princess, so they deserve the princess treatment and all of that. So showing up for the date, looking their absolute best is one of the way to like spicing it up, so the man know that okay, he's getting good investment. But I mean, if it were the other way around, that the man was to show up and the woman was to foot the bill, do you think women would outrightly be happy and say, oh, the man has expectation, he has to show expectation, so of course you, as the woman that is paying the bill, you expect the man to be at his best, right, and have the right character, right personality, because of course you're investing and you're paying that, right? So why do you think for you you're entitled, but if it were the reverse, the man shouldn't, and the man shouldn't have expectations? Is that right? Is that right? I noticed something else. You notice on the panel, lots all of the women want a man to pay for the first date, right? Foot the bill on the first date. Do you think it's gonna be the exact same response if it were to be 50-50, or if the woman was to foot the bill. Do you think it's gonna be the exact same response? Let me know what you think.
But on the first dates, you do want the guy to pay.
Yeah, and I think it recalls back to like the accountability part. Like, just because I danced back in the stripped back in the day, like, doesn't mean like I consecutively still do it. Like,
When's the last time you had a sugar daddy?
like 2 years now.
And if a guy didn't pay for the first date, would there be a second date?
Yeah, I don't really think it matters that much.
You want a guy to pay for the first date, but
Like,
if he doesn't, you'd
ideally,
be
I
okay
guess,
with
but
it.
if he didn't, like,
Would there be a second date if he
No,
didn't?
it's not a deal breaker. I know.
So, okay, check comes, or the server comes. Will there be anything else? No. 2 checks, please. Will there be a second date?
Yeah, of course.
Will there be a second date?
Yeah.
At least you stand on business.
If their personality is good, yes.
No. No way.
Okay.
Hashtag what's your price?
That's the price right there.
Well, I guess what is difficult for me to understand is why do you why should a man pay for a first date? That's what I want to know.
Because a man asked me out.
So,
Why you're gonna ask me out if you can't pay for a date?
Do you ask guys out?
Do I ask guys
Yeah.
out? Absolutely not.
Have you ever asked a guy out?
No.
Okay. So de facto, men have to ask to get a date.
I feel like the reason that I believe men should always ask out women is because I think it's a masculine thing. So
Is it is it feminine to be duping men out of their money on for dates? Is that feminine and traditional?
Shifting gears.
I think it's feminine, right? Because
It's feminine to
because feminine
to manipulate and take advantage of men financially.
I guess you could say it's more of a female thing, more female.
Yeah, it's like a female thing.
Well,
I
it's
guess.
I'm actually, I'm willing to grant this. I'm willing to just kind of grant that it's true, that it's far more masculine for a man to ask a woman out on a date than, of course, it would be feminine for a woman to ask a man out. I'm just actually willing to just kind of grant that that's true. Can you tell me why it's masculine to pay for the date, though?
Because I mean now, like, I think things are different. Like, I think like the pay and everything. But back in the day, I feel like the reason men always paid for first dates was because they make more money. They're the providers, right? Men are like providers,
Gender roles.
protectors.
Yeah.
Well, no, they had expectations as suitors that they could potentially be finding a woman who they could have children with, and the expectation came that she would likely be a virgin or likely have almost no body count whatsoever and would be a good wife to them, et cetera, et cetera. So they were willing to shell that out in order to find the right ones, in order to have their children and be a good wife and all of those things. This is a whole different scenario now. And again, I'm kind of willing to just grant that it's far more masculine for a man to ask out a woman than it is feminine for a woman to ask out a man. I'm just willing to grant that's true. But why is it more masculine to pay? That's what I'm not sure about.
Is the level of entitlement and expectation, or high level of entitlement and expectation, lots of these women have? Because a man asks you out, he should pay. Men back in the day, men make more, they should pay, they should foot the bill, they should provide, right? But when women make more, do they pay on a date? Do they take men out to pay on a date? Do they foot the bill 100% without complaining? Do they do that? I mean, we're still yet to hear that, because obviously once it falls on to a woman to foot the bill, or to take all of the responsibility, or take the responsibility that the man is supposed to, then the man gets called names, the man gets called weak and all of that. So I mean, the expectation falls on the man, or women have this high level of expectation, or most of these women have this high level expectation that the man should follow through or keep the end of his bargain. But you as a woman, I aren't you supposed to also keep the end of your bargain? I thought that should be fair, right?
I mean, for me, the men that I encounter usually just make more money, but like, I don't think a man has
But even
to
if they
pay.
don't make as much money, I don't understand why it's a masculine trope to pay. Why is that masculine?
Did I say that was masculine?
Yeah,
to
you
pay?
said it was masculine.
To pay?
Yeah, you said it was like a masculine thing to pay, but I think like it comes out like
I
a
guess
gender
like
roles.
masculine is just like
Gender
I don't know.
roles.
It's just like gender roles, right?
Gender
like
roles.
it's just
So you have the expectation that men will pay because of gender roles?
yeah. I mean, just for the first date. I mean,
And what are women's gender roles supposed to be? Should they be virgins as part of their gender role?
no, I don't think they need to be virgins.
Oh, okay. Well, then no, I don't think that men should have to adhere to any gender rules if you don't think that women should have to adhere to any of theirs, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense.
To each their own.
So I guess almost Andrew already made the point, but just to kind of reframe it a little bit, should men pay for first dates? Just to you.
They don't have to.
No, but should.
Should they? Yes. I think they
Should
should.
women be virgins?
Should women be virgins?
Yes.
No.
Okay. There you have it.
Okay.
It's interesting, women have completely abandoned and cast aside any and all of their traditional gender roles, yet with the utmost entitlement, still expect men to adhere to their traditional gender roles. I find that interesting. Kind of like the buffet of equality, you want to pick and choose what benefits you. Men have to still exist in the 1950s world, but women can exist in a 2024 world where you do OF, you do sugar daddy websites, you do all this stuff. But men should pay for first dates, men should be providers, men should protect you, blah, 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 blah. It's interesting how that works.
I mean, if
Yeah, in fact, let's dive a little deeper. What gender roles should women take on? Should they take on any female gender roles? Like, what
Yes.
should they actually take on as
Yes,
females?
for sure.
What? Well, what are they?
Well, for instance,
Well,
I
hang
think
on, let me ask her real quick. She was making the claims first, so I want to ask you directly. What actual gender roles should women take on?
Well, I mean, I still think women should have like a low body count. I just don't think being a virgin is like a possibility nowadays because I mean, you date people and then
Oh, it's
after
impossible?
a year or two. Lauren. I mean, I guess
You just have to, right? I mean, you must.
I mean, I feel like
Okay. So low body count. What other gender role?
I feel
What
like a
actual
guy
gender
won't date
roles
you
do
more
think
than a
woman should
couple
take on?
months if you don't end up having a sexual relationship with them.
Okay,
so
okay.
how are you
Forget that for a
supposed to date
second.
to marry nowadays?
What other gender roles besides just that do you think women should adhere to?
Cook, clean, be mothers.
Okay. And what about submission to their husbands?
Yeah, submission.
And what does that mean? What's the entailment of submission?
Submit. So just what they say goes.
Always?
Always.
What if you disagree about where your kid should go to school?
I don't care.
Should you
the
submit
man
to what
can
the husband says?
Yeah.
Now, what if that
If he's a
school
good
is
man, I trust his
What if the
decisions.
school is an hour and a half out of your way, and you say there's a perfectly good school that's even better, and it's only 20 minutes away, right? So I'd prefer to drop the kids off there. You still going to submit?
Yes.
Yes.
Damn.
Okay.
I'm very submissive. So
So okay, now we understand and we get is that men still get to uphold and continue with the traditional values while women are not expected to have that same traditional values and all of that. So now women are now entitled that it is men's duty or is a man's duty to pay for the first date, to foot the bill, to be the provider. But it is not a woman's job. The woman can decide when she would be submissive to the husband and when she would respect or do her own duties or carry out her own duties or keep the end of her bargain. Make it make sense. So it's a masculine thing to do, to pay for the first date and all of that. Wasn't it women actually who killed chivalry? Because men were perfectly just fine doing chivalry and keeping their bargain, but women wanted it their own way when it's convenient for them. Women are the exact same ones that killed all of this entirely. They did. You know what's most interesting is the fact that lots of these women don't even know what they want. I wish they knew what they want exactly. They don't know what they want. They are just all confused. They want men to play along with their confusion or in their confused state. Until these women figure out what they really want, they are just going to be moving in circles, repeating the exact same thing, making the exact same mistake because they really do not know what they want. But let me know what you think. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I really love to share that. You can share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.